Welcome back to my build series on YouTube. This is going to be the Magic and Nightblade build for Veteran Vateshran Hollows Trifecta achievement. I will be having a Trifecta video uploaded really soon here, probably before the build video, just to showcase the run. It was about a 31-minute run. It's not too bad. So the Magic and Nightblade is super strong. You don't need any mythical items again for this. This is going to be a non-mythical item, very attainable build, just the same as my Magicka Sorcerer build for Vateshran Hollows Trifecta achievement running. Alright, so without further ado, I would like to get right into it. Alright, so this is coming right off of the run that I just had for the Veteran Vateshran Hollows Trifecta run. I did just get the achievement. If you want to see, today is Christmas Eve, December 24th. Achievements. I did run this about 10 times today. I just had to perfect a few things about the run, but it's pretty much essentially the same thing as the Sork, except better burn, which is great. So there's a few tricks I'd like to show you in this dungeon as well, just to make sure that you sort of get it. Anyway, see, I haven't even turned in the quest yet. There's the portal, and there's the chest I haven't looted. So the score is really low. The reason for that is because I skipped a lot of ads just to speed the time up a little bit. Like I said, it was about a 31-minute run. Anyway, so let's get into the skills real quick here. So your spammable is going to be Swallow Soul. Swallow Soul heals you for 36% of the damage inflicted every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. It's kind of a low heal. It's not quite as good as Critical Surge, but if you use it properly as a spammable, then it'll reset that counter every time you weave it, so you'll get that heal every second. So as long as you're not messing up and you know the light attack weaving's going about as smooth as it usually can go, then you'll be alright. Our second Impale does a lot of damage, hell of a lot of damage. I was getting about 60k impales on the final boss during execute, which was extremely nice. It's exactly when I needed it, and that's when it came through. So Impale is going to be 25% and under. That's what you're going to be using. Light attack weaving Impale. Merciless Resolve. You want to basically keep this up at all times if you can. You want that spectral bow to proc. It costs less, and it does a ton of damage. And it also heals you too, so it's kind of nice. When it crits, it hits super hard. So, and this is where things get a little bit different. You're gonna be running the Dark Shade, and no, it's not Dark Shade Caverns. It's the Dark Shade. This is a pretty nice little pet that you have that you just summon it, and it does some damage for you. So I try to keep that up as much as possible. If you run out of Magicka while you're using the food that I'm going to recommend, don't worry about casting this. This is just sort of for bosses and things like that, just for a little extra damage. This is an essential. You do need this Elemental Drain, especially when you're running the food that has no recovery. It's just really nice. Look at the amount of penetration you get. You get almost 6k penetration out of this. And then it also does minor Magicka steal. So you get 168 Magicka recovery every 1 second. Basically that works out to about 336 Magicka ish. Somewhere around there, 336? Yeah, 336 Magicka recovery. Because Magicka recovery, health recovery, stamina recovery, it's all every 2 seconds. So that's sort of what it works out to, which is really nice. Your front bar is going to be Soul Harvest. This is going to make you do a ton more damage to your enemy, 20% more damage for 6 seconds. So make sure you try to line that up with your Spectral Bow if you can. or your impales. It's really, 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 really good. Definitely keep this on the front bar though, because this is the ultimate that you should be using for the most part on bosses. Your Destra ulti will be for ads, which brings me to my back bar. Destra ulti. This is for like ad pulls, things like that. Also for first boss in Magical Land. First boss, there's a knack and a technique for killing it. I did it in the video, and I will show you sort of the best way to kill that boss. Do run a shield. Dampen magic does 60% of your max health. Each piece of light armor worn increases the amount of damage absorbed by 5%, which is nice. So when you're running low resistances, as you probably normally are on your Nightblade, because of light armor, you're going to be wanting to run a shield. You don't have to, it's not required, but if you want a no death, it's pretty much, I mean, unless you're like one of the top tier players for damage dealing, and you can survive, even if you're not top tier, but you can survive, yes, you don't need to run your shield, but normally I'm going to say run a shield. Channeled acceleration. This ability needs to be slotted. You need this, the critical damage by 10% is just amazing, and the amount of crit we're running on this build is insane. So it also gives you major expedition, which definitely helps for 12 seconds. So that's good for running through the lava, things like that. Siphoning attacks. You definitely need siphoning attacks. This is the other ability with Ellie Drain. You definitely need to keep this up as much as possible, especially when you're running the food that does not have any recovery. So, Twisting Path gives you major expedition again for I think 4 seconds. Yeah, and then it's like a nice little ground dot. Unstable Wall of Elements is good. It's a very nice spammable, especially first boss Fire, I believe, Fire Arena. First boss, the Bumblebee, that you fight, it summons out the scamps. You get a little portal with a bunch of scamps that come out of it, so you can control where that spawns to. I'm still sort of working out the kinks of that, but you can I think you can control where that spawns. I'm gonna do a more in-depth video on the Vateshran hollows and what I've found in there, like little tricks and ways to do certain things, and like, yeah, just stuff like that. But that's a whole nother topic for another time. But anyway, yeah. So Unstable Wall of Elements is what you want. You can run the other ability, but I don't the other morph of this, but I don't recommend it. I recommend Unstable Wall of Elements. So as far as passives go, you should have all your passives. So passives here, here, and here. Destruction Staff, all passives. Light Armor, all passives. Heavy Armor, always take Juggernaut. You should run this one, Banish the Wicked, because there's tons of that in here, and that will help you with your ultimate generation. Also, having access to Inner Light is a good option. It's always a good option. Have your passives in Psijic as well. Just for when you're channeled acceleration, there's a while you're casting or channeling a Psijic Order ability, you gain major protection, reducing your damage taken by 10%. That's super nice. Always have your passives in Undaunted. Doesn't really matter about the Assault. And support passives. I'm a High Elf. That does help. I was debating on turning into a Dark Elf, just so I can swap between Mage and Stam if I want to. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. And then Alchemy, you always want max Alchemy for the not chemistry, what the hell is it? Medicinal use. When using potions, resulting effects last 30% longer, so that's really, really nice. That definitely makes it so you can keep almost 100% uptime on your pots. Yeah, so there's that. Well, one thing I did forget to go over was the gear. So we're running Mother Sorrow on the front bar. This gives us spell critical, which is super important. So spell critical, Mother Sorrow on the front bar. We got a Maelstrom Inferno Staff on the back bar. So the enchant on the front bar is Flame. The enchant on the back bar is going to be Berserk. You can run Absorb Magicka if you're having sustain issues. And then our monster set is going to be Iceheart. And our body is going to be False God. You don't have to be perfected False God. It can be regular False God. Just gold it out and make sure it's Divines. And then our jewelry is going to be all bloodthirsty with spell damage glyphs. And now the champion points. Now, champion points are pretty subjective, but this is my blue tree. Got Elfborn, critical damage, critical healing. I'll show you the reason why when we get to my Mundus. Elemental export I like to keep at 12%, so that's 56 generally. If you notice, we have some spell erosion. We are using spell erosion. Staff expert is 16, master at arms is 81, and then thaumaturge is 37. Now the red tree is where it's important. This is what I've worked out for Vateshran just by trial and error. So it's 72 ironclad, 2 into spell shield, 61 thick skin, 56 hardy, and 64 elemental defender, with 15 into quick recovery. You can play around with this if you want. It just depends on what you want to prioritize as important. But this is what I've prioritized just in case I mess up. I have this ironclad here to protect me from a heavy attack from something, just in case I mess up, because it's a possibility that you could mess up here. So as far as Mundus, we're using the Thief, which is amazing in here, especially in here. You could use the Shadow if you want to, if you have enough crit. Generally, you should have enough crit, but if you want to use a Thief, I would say go for it. Thief works really well. Alright. And so let's check out the character sheet. This is with the buffs too, so just keep that in mind. Typically we run about, what do we have? We get about 33, 34k max magicka. We're running about 17k health. And then this is the cool part, is the crit without your pot is 66.7%. Now when you take your pot on your front bar, this brings your crit up to almost 80%. It's insane. And then look at that magicka recovery. That's nice too, right? And then if you were to cast that, you also get physical and spell resistance buffed up a little bit there too. So super nice, really nice stats either way. You're looking really good. 64 points into magicka as well. For the food, towards the end of the round we run Clockwork Citrus Fillet. And then in the beginning you can run Artaeum Pickled Fish Bowl, or you can run one of the buy stat foods like Melon Baked Parmesan Pork. Increases health and magicka for an hour. You don't need an hour at all, honestly. It only took me 31 minutes to beat this particular arena. But anyway, so that's the build. I hope it helped. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that you take care. And the next thing I'm going for is the Undying Song achievement thing, the title, because once you have Spirit Slayer, it's pretty much easy peasy to get the other one. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I guess to end the video off, what I'm going to do here is loot this. And I've already got everything. Great. Anyway, so that was about 12 runs today. I think I'm done. I'm going to log off until the raid tonight, but you guys take care. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Woo!